Hi, it's Anne-Marie at Get Cooking. I thought I'd show you what to do with some seasonal fruit today. In a few weeks I'm going to be doing some demos up at Hill Close Gardens in Warwick and using the produce that's in the gardens, and if you've never been there, it's a really nice place to go. And yesterday I went down to my allotment and found a lot of my currants and berries are nice and ripe after a bit of sunshine, and it smells really good. So I've basically topped and tailed all my gooseberries, so it's a bit of a labour of love if you're going to have a go at putting some currants and berries in your garden to grow, because you've got to like pick all the ends off and everything. But once they're done, it's really satisfying, and then you can make lots of different things. And if you really can't be bothered, you just put them in your freezer and use them when you want to. And if you've got children like me, they tend to just grab a bit of everything and make a smoothie out of it if you don't get around to baking with it. So I thought I'd show a really easy pudding today. It's a non-bake one. You can use any berries that you've got, so whatever's on the yellow sticker in the supermarket, so whatever's in your garden or allotment, you can put it all together and make a pudding out of it. Now, some people might remember this one, and it's called summer pudding, and it's using stale bread, and so it's really good for using your leftover bread and any berries that you've got around. So what I'm going to do is put all my berries, and I weighed these, it's about 600 grams, so I'm going to put all these in a pot. Now, blackcurrants and gooseberries are quite sour, so depending on what berries you've got in there, you might want to put a bit more sugar than if it was all like raspberries and strawberries and blackberries, which are quite sweet. So I'm actually going to put about 4 tablespoons in here. I'm just going to use brown sugar, but you can use any sugar you want. I'm going to put 4 in. It's about 600 grams. But I'm also going to put in some elderflower syrup, which is really sweet, and it really brings the flavour out from the strawberries and blackcurrants. It's just a really nice. It just seems to bring out the flavour in berries and gooseberries as well. So it's really useful, and it just smells lovely. And we've been really lucky with the weather this year. We've got some lovely, lots of big sprays of flowers, and each bush smells different. Now it smells really good. So I'm going to put that on the hob and just let it stew down a bit and get all that sugar dissolved. So I'm just going to put that on the hob. Get it going. I'll stick a lid on it. And while that's cooking down, I'm just going to show you how to make these little summer puddings. And these are little individual ones in these little glass bowls. They come in quite handy. I mean, I could use the big one if you wanted. I'm just going to make little individual ones because, one, I'm not sure my kids are going to enjoy this. You know what kids are like. So I thought I'd make little ones, and then if they don't, we can just have them another night. So the longer they're in the fridge, they soak up more of the flavour. So all those lovely juices that are going to come out of the fruit are going to soak into the bread. So what I've done with these, I've just used a scone cutter to just like make it nice and neat, and then chopped my crust off. Now these crusts, we can bake in the oven, make croutons out of them. Actually, these are just quite good as like little breadsticks if you've got little cup of soups, so it's quite useful. Have those once you've baked them, about 20 minutes, 150. You can just put them in an airtight container and they keep for months. So quite useful. So all I'm doing is putting a little disc like that, and then I'm just going to lay my bread round the edges. Just quite fortunate that half a slice of bread seems to fit quite snugly into these little jars. I think I might have got enough there. Right, I need a top one at the top, so I'm just going to get the one at the top. So that just fits nicely on the top once we put our fruit in. So just kind of stretch it out a bit. Haven't got any more bread. Just takes just slightly more than one slice bread, unfortunately. There we go. So there's my little bowls. There's my crusts. And they're ready to go. Now, gooseberries are one of my favourite fruit. As a child, I remember them being really spiky, being at one of my great auntie's houses, and they're really spiky. And I thought, how can you eat these? But the ones these days, the modern varieties, are quite smooth, and there's a really nice one which are pink and red and quite sweet, especially if you pick them in the afternoon when the sun's been on them. They're really tasty. And like I say, they've got really nice with elderflower, so it's quite nice to make jam with it. And if you've never made jam before, gooseberries are really good because they're high in pectin, so you don't have to mess about too much with them. You literally just throw in the same quantity of sugar as fruit. So you boil down your fruit, put your sugar in, and get to about 105 degrees after, I don't know, about 10 minutes, something like that, and it'll be all like a sticky mess. And because it's got such high pectin, it'll guarantee it'll set. While strawberries are a bit more difficult, and you have to add pectin or an apple or to get a nice set. So gooseberries and plums, if you want to ever go at making jam, that's probably a good place to start. And then you can start messing around with the flavours and adding things. Like I like my syrup in my gooseberries, so that's quite nice. And making gooseberry fools and making roulades, or like a pavlova with lots of sticky fruit on the top. So there's lots of different combinations you can make with all these berries. And like I say, if you don't know what to do with them, put them in the freezer. I've got so many gooseberries from last year because I didn't actually get round to making that much jam. And now we've got a bit of time on our hands, I think I know what I'll be doing the next couple of weeks, making lots of jam. So I'm just going to have a look at my fruit on my hob. See how it's going. Smelling good. Ooh, that's looking good. Doesn't really need long. Lots of juice coming out of there. Right. To be honest, that's probably about right. So, let's get a spoon. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour these into here. So I'm just going to distribute the fruit, just push it down. Looking good, isn't it? Like I said, the hardest bit is actually the topping and tailing. You've just got to get yourself a gin and tonic, sit outside, and just get in the zone, just top and tail. I know I've got loads of blackcurrants at the allotment, and I'm just going to have to, I think I'll just cut the branches off, take them home, and then like I said, sit in the garden, just put some music on and just top and tail, get the kids out to help me. So there was about 600 grams of fruit here, 4 tablespoons of sugar, I don't know, just a good sort of glug of elderflower syrup. This is looking good. You'd almost thought I'd actually pretty much that one, pretty much there. I've just got a little bit of juice left here. I'm just going to squeeze that in. It's all going to absorb. So, I'm just going to give that a minute. So, as you can see, I've got the fruit in the bowls. And then we're just going to place sometimes things just fit, don't they? You know, you've got things in your cupboard and it just so happened the scone cut is absolutely spot on with these. And then we just need to put something heavy on the top to press them down. But unfortunately, I've not done a delia, so I've not got one in the fridge I made earlier. So you'll just have to look out for pictures on Facebook or Instagram of what they come out like. Fingers crossed. So I can see it already soaking in. But what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of foil on those, and then I'm just going to get something just gently pressed down on it so that all the juices come into the bread. Like that. There we go. So I'll let them cool a little bit, and then I'll put them in the fridge, and I'll put rest something heavy on them, like some plates. Put some plates on there. Look. Yeah, so if I just like press down like that. Let's get one more. The kitchen smells good now. Right, so I'm going to press them down there, and then I'm going to put them in the fridge, and yeah, and then hopefully by tea time they'll be ready to eat, which is a couple of hours away for me. So yeah, I reckon 2-3 hours in the fridge, and then tip them upside down, and then serve it with some really nice cream. So I hope that gives you some inspiration of what to do with your fruit, especially if you're given some, or you've got loads down the allotment or in your garden. Just like I say, it doesn't need that much fruit. 600 grams is not that much, so you could even, you know, get some from the supermarket. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll see some of you soon up at Hill Close Gardens. Bye for now.